Success on YouTube boils down to two things. Can you get people to click and can you get people to watch? Retention is all about how long you can keep people watching. The biggest YouTubers on the planet figured out a way to get retention graphs like these and get ahead of 99% of YouTubers. Most people think this is the result of fancy editing and fast cuts. But they're wrong. They just watched too many MrBeast videos without really understanding what's going on. But after hundreds of hours analyzing YouTube videos and identifying patterns, I discovered the blueprint to instantly boost your video's retention, so you get more views, more watch time, and monetize faster. But first, I need to warn you about the biggest retention mistake that you are probably making. Most YouTubers give advice in a completely illogical order, so when you try to implement these retention hacks, you don't know which one to use on which part of your video. And this matters, because the reason that someone leaves your video after the 30-second mark is not the same reason someone leaves it around the 3 minutes. This is why the biggest YouTubers use specific retention hacks at the beginning, the middle, and the end of their videos, and I'll show you how you can do the same. This is something that most beginners overlook, and it makes viewers click off your videos before you even have a chance to show how cool you are. You spend hours staring at your retention graphs, wondering what's wrong with your intro for such a sharp drop-off in the first 30 seconds. It's beyond frustrating, but I will let you on a little secret. It's not about what you say, it's about what you don't say. Let's take a look at a Veritasium video so you see what I meant.
These are shade balls. They're being dumped into this water reservoir in Los Angeles. And contrary to what you may have heard, their main purpose is not to reduce evaporation. So what are they really for?
Did you catch how many questions there are in this intro? I'm not really talking about the explicit question that he's asking, what are they really for? I'm talking about all of the questions that pop up in your head due to what Derek is saying. Like, what the hell are shade balls? Why are they being dumped in this reservoir? Why do people think their main purpose is evaporation? In just 20 seconds you have all of these in your head, and now you need the answers. Introducing questions in your viewer's mind is one of the most powerful ways to make them stay. Because if people aren't curious, they just don't watch. It's that simple. So before you script your intro, think of all the questions you want people to be curious about. Then write your hook in a way that makes these questions a natural progression of what you're saying. But even though this is a super powerful technique, it's not enough if you don't set up the right expectations. But how exactly do you set up the right expectations? Well, stop thinking like a YouTuber and start thinking like a movie director. Here is what I mean. A movie director takes you on an emotional ride with every scene. But the key is he does that with the end of the movie in mind. At the beginning of The Lion King, Simba starts as a lion cub full of fear and trauma, but by the end of it, he's a brave king. And every scene and dialogue choice in the movie builds up to that. How does that translate to YouTube? You need to know your video's end game so that when you write your hook, you set up the right expectations. But unlike in the movies, you must clearly state up front what the payoff will be. Without revealing it, of course, don't ruin the surprise. Say that people will get a gift, but don't say what the gift is. For example, if you're teaching people how to play a song on the guitar, the payoff is they'll know how to play that song by the end of the video. If it's a MrBeast video, the payoff is that the last person to leave the circle will get $500,000. But here is where you can run into problems. Setting up the right expectations is not enough. Just like a movie director, you must make people feel the right emotions at the beginning of your video so you hook them. To do this, use curiosity, fear, and desire. Here is how I did that in the intro of this video. The biggest YouTubers on the planet figured out a way to get retention graphs like these. I used your desire to win on YouTube. Most people think this is the result of fancy editing and fast cuts. But they're wrong. They just watched too many MrBeast videos without really understanding what's going on. Then I played on your fear of missing out by hinting you're probably getting the wrong information. But after hundreds of hours analyzing YouTube videos and identifying patterns, I discovered the blueprint to instantly boost your video's retention, so you get more views, more watch time, and monetize faster. I triggered your curiosity by mentioning a mysterious blueprint, which leaves you wondering, what the hell is that? Okay, but now comes the longest and hardest part of keeping retention on a video. Most people make this retention mistake because when we create a YouTube video, we want it to be the best video ever. We want to give so much valuable information the viewers will have all they could ever need. But this is wrong. This approach makes your video sound like a Wikipedia page. That's why storytelling is so important, but not necessarily in the way that you think. Sure, if you have a personal story about what you're talking about, add that to the video. Or if you want to add someone else's experience related to what your viewers want, that's great. But using a story can mean adding a scenario, like the 2.7 million subscribers channel Better Ideas does here.
Every single day is that when you sit down to do this thing, you feel a feeling. And it almost seems unfair how potent this feeling of resistance is, because it's usually only present when you think about doing things that are genuinely good for you.
Did you notice how he describes a scenario instead of just saying something like you don't want to work or go to the gym? Adding a story can also be just talking about your favorite Disney movie, like I did when I spoke of The Lion King. You see, in both cases we could have just added more information. However, adding a relatable scenario or a story about a beloved movie not only simplifies the content, but also re-engages the viewers. And yes, in case you were wondering, Mr. Beast's actual secret for engagement is his masterful use of storytelling, combined with another tip that I will reveal later on. Speaking of re-engagement, here is a hack Ali Abdaal uses to boost retention.
Habit number 2, the quizzical habit.
See what he did there? No? Let me fast forward a few seconds.
In our interactions with them. And so this is the basis of the second habit in the book, which is to ask big questions.
Here is the trick. Ali could have revealed right away that the tip was ask big questions, but then you'd probably lose interest in anything that comes after because you already got the answer. So why not just click off the video? To avoid that, he came up with a creative name for the tip, the quizzical habit, and only explained it after he built up the suspense. His team calls it the pace of revealing information, and it's one of the best cards that you have in your deck. By the way, I used this trick earlier in the video, let me know in the comments if you can spot it. Now the next tip is something Ed from Film Boost uses all the time, and it is so important, because even if you use stories to engage viewers and you come up with cool names to build suspense, some parts of your videos might still make people click off. And this is where this simple and friendly stupid tip comes in. Whoa. Sorry about that, that was my dog Philip. Are you still with me? You're probably wondering what the hell was going on. Well, this was just a little teaching moment. Let me ask you this. Does this interruption make you more attentive? When you break the natural flow of attention, you re-engage your audience. You can simply insert a joke, use metaphors, or leave a mystery from a story you told unsolved for a while. It sounds stupid, but it is so powerful. This is Mr. Beast's actual secret for holding attention.
Stupid, yeah. Which is why we're gonna drop him in the lake. Bring in the crane!
It's not about cutting fast like most people think. It's about constantly re-engaging the viewer with interruptions. So with this knowledge in mind, I dare you to re-watch a Mr. Beast video and look for all the pattern interruptions. See how he stops one story for a moment to introduce another, or how he suddenly adds a new rule to a game? Then try to do something similar in the simplest way possible. But don't just go watching Mr. Beast right now, because I still need to warn you about the mistake that 99% of people make that's losing them thousands of views per video. Most people's retention graphs look like this at the end. This is where they're doing it all wrong, all because your mama raised you to be too polite. I'm serious. Think of this, when you were little and went to someone's house with your mom, you stayed there until it was time to leave. Then people would announce their departure and say their goodbyes, which is a good practice in real life, but it's killing your YouTube channel. Why? Because when you let your viewers know, even for a second, that your video is done, they will click off. So there is the lesson. End your videos abruptly. But you shouldn't do this without using this trick. Remember I said that this mistake was costing you thousands of views? This is because when people click off at the end of your video, you lose the chance of sending them to another video. This simple act can get you hundreds or even thousands of extra viewers on your channel. By the way, if this helps you, I have also compiled all of these tips in this video into one beautifully designed PDF in the description down below. But you know what's even more important than the ending of your video? The beginning. because saying the right thing is the reason that people keep watching your videos instead of clicking off. Although we covered the basics here, there is way more you need to know to make a YouTube intro that viewers just can't resist. So I made this next video explaining it all.